Hello everyone, Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle, and today we're going to take a look at Sylvester Stallone, one of the most famous actors of all time. We're going to go through his career, his acting career, and discover when he was at his all-time best. And if you're new to the channel, our main focus on this channel is bodybuilding, so we're not looking at Sylvester Stallone when he was at his best as far as acting skills are concerned, because I'm sure, like a fine wine, he's gotten better as far as that's concerned. We're talking strictly physique alone, so I guess it will be somewhat subjective. I mean, a physique like this looks like he is ready for the bodybuilding open class stage. Sylvester Stallone, he is jacked here. And like I said, it's subjective, guys. Here is a physique, looks like it's ready for the men's physique division in the IFBB, for goodness sakes. But you guys know me. I am much more impressed with the size, the muscularity. But those are just a couple of photo shoot pictures. And we're going to be focused more on single movies for this one. At which point in his movie career did he look the best? Here is Sylvester Stallone way back in 1976. Rocky 1. Not very impressive. Not very impressive at all. Actually being out-angled here by Adrian. With all due respect, hey, it was a decent physique for a regular man's physique, but when you're up against competition like Carl Weathers, who looked pretty gosh darn jacked, I must say, it was time for Stallone to get in shape. So fast forward to Rocky 2, and Stallone, he did tighten it up a little bit. But who could notice, because in my opinion, Carl Weathers, he was at his best here in Rocky 2. So, Stallone at his best? No, not even close. But then something happened. The 1980s happened, and Sylvester Stallone fit into that decade just like a glove. And he really leaned out. I mean, this guy, he must have got a dietitian, and it was the first time that we've seen a ripped Sylvester Stallone at 36 years of age. And what better time to look like this? To reprise his role as Rocky in Rocky 3. And since we're talking movie physiques, less about the training pictures, things of that nature, he sure looked good in Rocky 3. And what a difference. What a difference from Rocky 2 to Rocky 3. The guy was shredded. So at the time, here in 1982, it was absolutely Sylvester Stallone's best physique, but far away from his ultimate best physique in my opinion. Right after Rocky 3, interestingly enough, he did his first Rambo film, called First Blood, of course, for those of you who follow his career. And he was very lean, not very impressive at all, but you gotta consider, he just did a lot of dieting to get that look that he got in Rocky 3, so he really had no time to put on any muscle. He just looked a lot smaller, which made sense, right? For a guy like John Rambo, a traveling gypsy, you don't expect a guy like that to be jacked. But anyway, on to 1983. He did Staying Alive. He stayed covered up. He did Rhinestone in 84. And, you get a little glimpse that he was definitely staying in shape. But then 1985 hit, and it was time to reprise the role as Rambo. But this time, Stallone took this serious. So serious, in fact, that he began to train with legendary IFBB bodybuilder Franco Columbu, two-time Mr. Olympia champion. And Franco whipped Stallone into shape. He focused a lot on the arms, packed a lot of size on Stallone's arms. I definitely noticed. He had him posing, all kinds of things, dieting, things of that nature. Hey, muscle-mind connection. You gotta have it all. You gotta have it all working for you. And of course, he did not forget the abs. So, Stallone... Oh, I guess Arnold, what is going on here? You guys training with a beautiful girl sitting watching you, and you did not invite me for some training? You can see Stallone and Franco are like, sorry, Arnold, we didn't, we lost your number. Anyway, all jokes aside, they got a nice picture here. Arnold definitely has to stick his nose in everybody's business. And of course, the finished product, Rambo 2, or First Blood Part 2, Stallone looked absolutely incredible. Nice little back shot. I hardly think that was during the film. I can't see John Rambo snapping any shots. Of course, there was a nice little hidden abs and thigh when they hauled him out of that, the mud pit, quote unquote mud pit. So, yes, Rambo 2 or First Blood Part 2, definitely Sylvester Stallone's best physique to date. But here's the thing. Also in 1985, shortly after the filming of Rambo 2, he reprised Rocky once again. And he only dried out. You see that? So he might not have been quite as large as he was in First Blood Part 2, but Stallone was absolutely, in terms of bodybuilding now, he was absolutely better. You could see his obliques more. He was so jacked when he was lifting. Who was it? Paulie, Adrian. I think Duke was in there too in that little trailer thing. He was lifting that. Those shoulders were just bulging. And yeah, he had a decent amount of size as well, able to hold his own against Dolph Lundgren, who was a mass monster for sure. So yeah, Stallone, 1985, Rocky 4. That was his best physique to date. To date. That wasn't his ultimate physique. That's right, guys. According to Mark's Max Muscle, he looked even better than this. But of course, here in 1985, at 39 years of age, Rocky 4, this is arguably his best physique. So when do I think he was better? It surely was not in 1986. During Cobra, he didn't show that physique once, not even one time. Little bit of glimpses that he was still in shape in 1987's Over the Top, but nothing that we haven't seen before. It was in 1988 during Rambo 3 at 42 years of age when Stallone, in my opinion that is, and there's no trickery here this time, this was his best physique. It was his best physique, head to toe. His back was in. I mean, the guy, he was ripped to shreds. And, of course, a guy like John Rambo, he's not going to go around hitting bodybuilding poses or even flexing those abs. So, a rare glimpse of Stallone here in the gym. I mean, this is incredible, guys. I mean, this is Stallone at his all-time best. And at 42 years of age, what can you say? Sylvester Stallone, he was a late bloomer. After that, it seemed like Stallone, he always kept in shape. He definitely kept himself in shape, but he was never what we seen from those earlier Rockies or Rambos. And then in 1993, he posed for the November issue of Vanity Fair. And to be fair, to be honest, Stallone, some could argue he was at his all-time best here in 1993. He looked pretty impressive. And what the heck, you're in shape, Stallone. You might as well do a couple of movies and show that physique. Like in 1993's Demolition Man, I was actually quite surprised how good he looked in a couple of them scenes. And then, of course, 1994, about the same type of physique. Very vascular in the Specialist with Sharon Stone. He was 48 years old there, guys. But in my opinion, I still say Rambo 3, 1988. And some would actually, and I've heard people argue this, would say in 2006, at 60 years of age, Stallone looked his all-time best. Hey, for his age, yes, he was much more impressive of a physique for a 60-year-old man than this was for a 42-year-old man. But speaking as a bodybuilding judge, yes, absolutely. In 1988, he was better. He was better. But that takes nothing away from how good he looked. I cannot believe this guy. 60 years of age. And I guess if you're going to go by that standard, he was even more impressive a few years later because he looked basically the same. And I guess the final word on that would be here in 2012 at, are you ready for this? 66 years of age. So Sylvester Stallone, he set the standard for your Hollywood tough guy. Not only a Hollywood tough guy, but a Hollywood tough guy with an incredible physique. And nobody, in my estimation, had maintained their physique as long as one Sylvester Stallone did. So bravo to him. But I still say he was at his all-time best back in 1988. 42 years of age. I'm pretty much that age, or I'm almost that age, so maybe I'll be at my all-time best this upcoming year. Knock on wood. Sylvester Stallone, always been a hero of mine, and I'm sure a hero of many of your guys's as well. Some would argue, and I can relate. 1985, Rocky 4 might have been at his best. Also, some would suggest at 60 years of age, 2006, he was at his best. 88, if you ask me. Hit thumbs up on the video, guys. It's subjective. It's not written in stone, like Stallone's physique is. Yeah. Let me know when you think he was at his all-time best. Was it during Demolition Man? Was it another movie that I even totally forgot? He played an ex. We don't need to get into that. Earlier on in his career, he did an unfavorable film. Have a great one, guys.